Good morning, everyone. It's Madison. I'm going to talk to you today about one of my favorite childhood authors. Her name is Liz Kessler, and she wrote the international best-selling Tale of Emily Winsnap series, of which I have the original box set of the first two novels. They're middle grade novels, but she doesn't just write middle grade. She writes some early reader novels as well as some young adult novels. So they're very exciting. She writes a vast variety of works. Most of them deal with fantasy, but all of them deal with themes of bravery, friendship, and family. I hope that by the end of this video you are excited and want to read some of her works. Liz was born in 1966 in England. She was not an American writer. She is a British author, but many of her works are well known in America. In an interview with the BBC, she told them that at the age of 8, she wanted to be a poet. Now, she isn't a poet, but poetry still is important in her life, as seen in her most recent novel. Her characters love poetry just as she does. She got her degree in English in England and continued on to get her teaching requirements as well as her master's in creative writing. She has been a journalist and a teacher because she loves writing, and she wants to continue teaching others to write and showing them how important words are when they're written on paper. Her first series, The Tales of Emily Winsnap, which hopefully we all know, was published in 2003. The original book was The Tale of Emily Winsnap. It's not very long, but it is absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it. It follows a young girl around the age of 12 who realizes that when she goes into the water, her legs turn into a tail. Now, her mom has kept her from the water her whole life, but she couldn't stop her when she decided she was going to join the swim team. And now she has this whole new world to discover, but she also has to keep it a secret from all of her friends. It is followed by Emily Winsnap and the Monster of the Deep, and then she's continued writing 9 novels. The most recent one was published in 2020, so this year. I have the 3rd and the 4th novel on me, but I don't have the rest of them. But they are all that I've read absolutely amazing, great, fun, uplifting novels. But despite the fact that she's written 9 in 17 years is amazing, she's also written many, many more. These are the Philippa Fisher and the Fairy Godsisters series. And Philippa Fisher is a young girl who has discovered this magical fantasy world through her godsister, who happens to be a fairy. And she is here to help her through all of her issues. It's followed by Philippa Fisher and the Dreammaker's Daughter, and then this final one, Philippa Fisher and the Fairy Promise. It's a trilogy. There are no more other books of these, but I highly recommend. Now, these are also middle grade. She's also written 3 other standalone middle grade books, but they all have to deal with time travel, and they're all very, very interesting, so I highly recommend adding those to your library because they are such great middle grade books. Now we're going to talk about some of her early readers. Her first early reader series is Poppy the Pirate Dog, and it's inspired by her own dog, Poppy, who is a Dalmatian. It talks about a dog who doesn't like boats, but his family is going on a boat trip. And he has to figure out how to conquer his fear. The second one is Jenny the Pony series, and Jenny the Pony is a pony who is just trying to do her best out in the world, but sometimes she doesn't always succeed. Those are also super fun, and if you're in a younger library, they're super great to add to your library. Finally, we're going to talk about some of her young adult novels that she has written. The first young adult novel is really interesting. It's called Read Me Like a Book, and she actually wrote this novel 10 years before she actually published it, and this is because of laws that stood in England. In England, 10 years ago, you could not publish any books that were promoting homosexuality, especially if they were promoting homosexuality in the school. And Read Me Like a Book is a coming out story of a teen who's about 16 years old, and she's just discovering that she is a lesbian. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is a fantastic novel. When it was finally published in 2015, she received great reviews of the novels, and because of that, she continued writing young adult works. Her most recent young adult work, published in 2017, is Haunt Me, and it goes back to this fantasy world. Not necessarily the fantasy world of Emily Winsnap, but it brings back some of that magic that we love of Liz Kessler. She talks about the main character who is stuck in a love triangle, don't we all love those, between a ghost that she has met in her room that magically takes physical form if she is there, which is weird, and the ghost's brother who is still alive and going to school with her, and she's forging a great friendship with him, but it's slowly becoming more than a friendship, and she must decide which of the two to go with. Overall, Liz Kessler is an amazing author, and I highly recommend her for your libraries. She's constantly promoting happiness, bravery, joy, and even through hardship, you can always find the light at the end of the tunnel, which is some great themes that you should constantly have in your library, because especially in these times, we need some uplifting works. If you haven't already read her, I encourage you to go out now and read her books. I promise you they'll put a smile on your face. I can't wait to read what y'all have in mind. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.